Rob Martineau and Tom Stancliffe of Tribe Nutrition, welcome to Brand Growth Heroes. Thank you so much for joining us today.
It's great to be here.
It's amazing to be here. Thanks so much for having us. We're huge fans of the podcast. It's great to be on.
That's very nice of you. Thank you so much. So look, Tribe Nutrition has grown astronomically in the last 18 months and is about to hit about 6 million in retail sales value at the end of this year and going to double that next year, right? Can you tell our listeners a little bit about the brand in terms of what they might see, what ranges you have, where they might find them, and a little bit about that growth journey before we move into the really important part of this episode, where I want to focus on why you started the brand, the power of community and how that really is something that came first for you guys, and how that's just an integral part of your success.
Tribe are the UK's leading natural plant performance brand. Our top selling range is the Triple Decker, which is a nut butter layered plant protein bar. Vegan, low sugar, 10 vitamins and minerals, tastes incredible, but also great for you as a pre or post workout or a healthy snack. And we've also just launched our Active Oats, which are high protein, high fiber, gut friendly breakfast oats. Think of it like a kind of healthy overnight oats that you can make in 30 seconds by adding cold milk.
And you can. I have to tell all of you listeners out there, my kids had it for breakfast this morning. We'd only ever had the bars before. Thank you so much, guys, because you're always sending me big boxes of bars. They're bloody amazing. I have to say, they are just absolutely fantastic. I did not know that. Would you call it a protein bar? Is it a protein bar or is it a nutrition bar?
So it's a plant protein bar, but it's got a load of other.
But I did not know that a plant protein bar could taste that great, genuinely. And not just your Doisy and Dam one with the Doisy and Dam Smarties on the top, because obviously that one is going to taste great, but all of them, they taste amazing. And when you sent the cereal this morning, I had my 5-year-old eating the chocolate and hazelnut one, and he was in heaven. He ate it hot. The chocolate melted into the bowl. I went, oh, Jesus Christ, what have I done? And can't take it back now. And he went, oh my God, this is amazing. So not even for adults, and a beautiful looking brand as well. So where can everybody find your products?
So we started as a D2C business, and we've got a really strong online sales to our website, but you can also find us in Ocado, in Sainsbury's, in Morrison's as of last week, in Booths, in Boots, in WH Smith Travel. So across lots of mainstream, UK retail.
That's unbelievable. So how many SKUs do you have in the bar range?
So we've got 6 flavors of our Triple Decker bar. We've got everything from coconut, vegan honeycomb, which is our bestseller, our chopped peanut butter, maple. We always try and go really big on flavor. So it's so important for us that products taste amazing, but also delivering on nutritionals. And
big on brand standout, by the way. Anyone who's listening to this, have a look at their website. Is it wearetribe.co?
That's the one.
Fabulous, really beautiful brand aesthetic. I love the standout colours. It looks really indulgent. It's really appealing to me. So how did you get that much distribution in such a short period of time?
So I think in terms of where we're at maybe 2 years ago, as we've sort of doubled the business over that period, we just spent a lot of lockdown just working on the product, really, really finessing when it comes to, say, the brand on pack, but also the taste, the texture, the flavor profiles. And we've just found that's yielded really amazing growth. And I don't say that, I sort of sound a bit arrogant saying that, but it's really just flicked a bit of a switch in terms of customer response to the product and buyers' interest in the product. And so
what's the before and after? Because that's the interesting bit then for listeners. What was your products like before, and what are they like now that the switch flicked? Because everybody wants the switch to flick for their business, don't they?
Well, I think what we've always had as a brand is we've always been plant-based. We've always tried to use premium natural ingredients, no sweeteners, and we've always been focused on lifestyle or kind of way of life products. But I think what we really doubled down on through the lockdown was sort of taste and texture, really saying, how can we become the best tasting vegan performance focused product on the market? And how can we keep what makes the brand great? So vegan, performance, natural, great nutritionals, but just really double down on flavor. And I suppose part of that's come with experience, because we've been making products for 4 years. So we know what's worked best from the existing ranges we have. But particularly with the triple decker and the active oats, they've gone from being 0% of our overall sales in October 2020 to probably 60 or 70% of our sales today. So although it seems very immediate, like an overnight success, actually there was 4 years of knowledge and learning, and it's very difficult to create those kind of to create great tasting and
from scratch,
from scratch. And it was all of the learnings that came before that have really helped. But I think it's just a joy nowadays to see a Trustpilot review come in. I can't wait to see it, because it's going to be good. It's going to be someone saying it tastes great, and so much hard work has gone to get to that place. But ultimately the single most important thing for anything is, does it taste great? When someone tries that product, they've been on a hard run, if they've had a hard morning or a hard shift in the evening, they want something that they're going to love and create a real moment of joy. And I think we've really put that moment of joy first, because we've all got hard lives, and
But so you guys obviously have a real understanding of product and of product eat, which I shouldn't be surprised, but I kind of am, because you're ex-lawyers and ex-corporate finance people, and I just don't expect that necessarily. But you're talking all of the stuff that I've learned over the last 25 years, that it's not necessarily taste has got to be first, but taste, a lot of the experience around taste is also about texture, particularly in snacking, isn't it? And you've mentioned texture twice. Is there a story behind that?
I just think we found it's really important. And I think if people find that a bar is dry, or it doesn't or a shake is grainy, or this that actually contributes just as much to the kind of
experience,
the experience of product. So I think it's not that we've sort of learned by mistakes, but we've definitely iterated and got to a place where the more you can create on the texture front, the more excitement and innovation that people feel in the product they're trying. So I think
absolutely excitement and experience, yeah.
I'd definitely say we've just consciously, particularly over the last 3 years, just been obsessing over it. I think if we looked at the first year, we were probably too obsessed with how our website looked, or just putting too much energy into that. And actually, obviously you've got to have a good website, but it doesn't really matter. What really matters is when someone takes a first bite of that product, do they love it? And ultimately, I think we consciously realized that maybe in our first year, we weren't spending enough time on that, and we're spending too much time on other stuff. And so it's been the last 3 years essentially journey where we kind of realized, you just became obsessed with that. And we spend so much time as a team, obsessing over the little details of the product. How can we get it just tasting that little bit better? And I think Tom leads that, but that's something we've just become completely, we can't spend too much time
that's amazing.
How to improve the product.
And you definitely realize that it's no coincidence. Often people go, why is it brand successful? And is it the branding? Is it the whatever? But actually, if you really break it down in any category, that the best performer is normally the best tasting, and actually all of the rest is important. The mission, the visuals, the everything. But ultimately, stripping everything away, does someone love what they try, and do they want to try it again? And I think we put that first, and it's really yielding results.
I was going to say, all of the insurgent brands that I've been lucky enough to work with over the last 10 years, so for significant periods of time. So Goo, obviously, Goo chocolate puds, then Chobani, the American Greek yogurt, Strong Roots, which has taken the freezer aisle by storm across the world. All of those founders are absolutely obsessed with taste. And I should say the Coconut Collaborative as well, which I've worked with for about a year. They are all constantly tasting. Are you guys, do you have a table full of product and everybody's breaking off and eating bits and all the time?
Totally, yeah. We're waiting on a delivery of new caramel triple deckers, but we're constantly trying and also just constantly improving. Nothing is a sort of static place. What's great today won't be great in 6 or 12 months. So it's that process of improvement and iterating that, I think we've really... So, I should add, Sarah King is a food developer that works really closely with us, who's fantastic, who used to be at Innocent for a long time. And
okay.
Yes, and she's been fantastic in that regard as well.
Do you guys use a co-manufacturer?
Yeah, we work with co-manufacturers and two in particular who have, again, really helped us. And we see them as an extension of the team. It's such an important part of our business. And, they're fantastic. And they really believed in us from the start. And
I bet the technical managers, the product technical managers in the co-manufacturers are stars.
Yeah, they're fantastic. And, we now understand much more than we did. But, we're starting out. When you're starting a food business as lawyers, you just don't know about that stuff. And so I think they really helped upskill us and really believed in us. And it's been amazing seeing the growth that we've been able to deliver together. It's
so important because if a brand falls on the wrong co-manufacturer, and the co-manufacturer might have the right manufacturing capabilities, but if that account management person doesn't really understand account management, or doesn't understand what you want, or doesn't really understand the technical side of the business, or if the technical manager is your only point of contact and they have no human relation skills, which often happens in this situation, it can just all fall flat. So there's a lot of things that have to fall into place for this to work, aren't there?
100%. Really? I just think it's so important getting someone who's at the right size for you.
Okay.
You fall into someone that's way too big for you, or they're too small to have the capabilities you need. You can be in trouble. And I think it's having someone who just on a human level works as well, because they're such a close part of what you do.
Yeah, an extension of the team, like you say. So I could talk to you about product all day, but there's loads of really important things to talk about. And one of the points I just wanted to make, excuse me, is that when I came across you guys first, I thought you were just a bar brand. And then when I went on your website and when you sent me more samples, I realized that actually, your platform for growth is cross-category. You're in cereals, you're in drinks, and I can imagine you're in shakes, and I can imagine you being in lots of different categories with the same proposition, this idea of plant-based protein that is an absolute delight to eat, through its taste and texture. That must be really exciting.
It's super exciting. Yeah, it really is. Yeah. And we definitely, as you say, I think that kind of plant performance, so plant-based, high protein, high fiber, gut friendly, great taste. You can see that in so many categories. I mean, at the moment, we're super focused on snacking through the triple deckers and breakfast through the active oats. But yeah, we really see the opportunity in the category, just because, whatever you want to call it, this kind of lifestyle performance. So kind of products targeted at kind of active, healthy lives. There's just a lot of different directions it can go in. And we're really excited to see that grow over time.
So let's talk about active, healthy lives. How did this all start, guys? Bring us back to the beginning. Who wants to take this one?
Tribe started, myself, Tom and Guy, with basically three old mates, and we were working in jobs in the city, so in big offices, and running increasingly became, I guess, a big part of our lives. We were looking for something to escape, I suppose, the drudgery of our office lives, to get out in nature, and we began taking on bigger and bigger running challenges, and Tribe kind of grew out of that, specifically out of an amazing project called Run for Love, which basically began as an idea to try and run 1,000 miles in 30 days. So it started as this kind of physical challenge or adventure, but it quite quickly morphed into something much bigger, which would change all our lives. We wanted to run for a cause, and we met this amazing charity who were looking to build the first home in the UK that provided dedicated care to the victims of child trafficking. And they had this amazing vision. They needed a certain amount of money to make it possible. We quickly realized with just three of us that we would never be able to raise that amount. And that was the kind of a real inflection point in terms of the creation of Tribe, as it grew from being a run for just three of us into this kind of Forrest Gump tribe of runners. As we published our route online, we sent it out, got picked up by some media, and all of these runners from all over the world came to join and be part of that journey.
Unbelievable. Now, when you say you published your route online, earlier on you told me that actually you built a nice website. So you took this seriously from day one, right?
Definitely, yeah. We wanted to make it an amazing, once in a lifetime project. We wanted to make something we'll always be proud of, and published our route. It was in 2013, so it was just at the start of kind of influencers, and I remember got 4 or 5 bloggers picked it up, and then the Evening Standard. So it was really the time where things could really kind of move really quickly. We just went from 3 runners to 250 in the space of a few weeks. And
so where did you run from and to?
The run started in Odessa in Ukraine, and it went across 9 countries of Eastern Europe, finishing in Dubrovnik on the coast of the Adriatic in Croatia.
For 30 days, you ran, 39 marathons? And people joined you for parts of that journey. And how much money did you raise?
So collectively, I think the group raised about £300,000 for charity. And it was one of those projects that just took on its own momentum. It was a really amazing thing to be part of. But even while it was happening, I don't think I fully had taken stock of how fortunate or how exciting in a sense it was. It was just like building in this way that I just never realistically thought it could be possible.
And the money you raised was able to help this charity that was helping re-establish victims or rehabilitate victims of childhood slavery?
Exactly, yeah. It was to set up the first home for trafficked children in the UK.
That's amazing. And did it do that? Did it go on to do that?
Yes, it did. Yeah.
How did it evolve then? So that was the first kind of community event. How did you bring the community along with you, and what happened next? And how did the product side of things eventually evolve?
Well, I think we kind of went back to our normal lives after Run for Love for a bit. And then in 2015, I think over the next few years, we kept thinking about how we could take forward this amazing project that was all about community and making an impact. And it was about that time that obviously that Graze was doing really well as a direct-to-consumer snack brand. And I suppose that we saw originally the opportunity to, I suppose, bring together the community and the impact, but also all of the learnings we'd had around hating synthetic, nutrition that looked like it was for bodybuilders. But it just felt very wrong to be opening some metallic pack on the top of some beautiful Montenegrin mountain. And so it was all about saying, how can we create kind of great natural products targeted for, people like us who frankly weren't bodybuilders or really ultra endurance runners, but just normal people trying to be as fit as they could. So creating those great products, but also retaining the community element and retaining that desire to make an impact to try and fight slavery. So that kind of all came together, to create Tribe. So trying to be the UK's leading performance brand.
So you decided to start a product aspect to this, and then what happened? You launched the products. You talk us through that.
Yeah, so we actually started initially with a trial. I remember being back in my mum's kitchen, the 3 of us making these kind of trail mixes, essentially, which we then sent out to 60 kind of tasters. And that, I think, gave us the confidence just having got going to start something up. And it really grew initially as a direct consumer business, was growing really well. And it was with a range of natural nutrition products. It was quite oriented around running right at the start. And there were kind of 3 elements there that are still there today. Essentially, there was great natural nutrition products, the first thing. Second thing was events and community. So putting on physical events where people from Tribe could come together and run, bike, do yoga. And then the third thing is purpose, which now is the Tribe Freedom Foundation, so a separate charity that sits alongside Tribe. But it's a kind of ecosystem. There's an ecosystem there whereby people are filling with our products, they're taking part in our events, and they're fundraising for our charity, which has this amazing mission and carries out vital work to fight human trafficking and prevent human and support the victims of human trafficking.
So talk to us about community and events and people taking part in things, because that's how this all started, right? And often when brands talk about community, there's kind of a spectrum, isn't there? There's the brands at one end of the spectrum. When they say community, they mean the people who follow us on Instagram and maybe like and comment. And then there's people at the other end of the spectrum, which are people, I think, brands like your brand that actually started with a community and have brought and built that community along the way. And the activities that the community is involved with have grown and strengthened as well as the number of people. It's not just a nice to have. Talk to us a little bit about how central community is for all of you, this ecosystem that you describe, and how you keep them engaged. And really, I mean, is it even an effort? Because it's so much a part of this ecosystem, isn't it? It's not like a part of your marketing plan, which it is for so many brands.
No, I think you're totally right, Fiona. And I think for us, community is genuinely the most important thing at Tribe, whether that's people coming to the events that we do, whether that's, something like 10,000 people contributed to the MPD process for the active oats, or, probably tens of thousands of people helped raise the £1 million for the foundation. And I think, to be honest, like, you don't think of it as marketing because ultimately so many of those events, 90% plus, we were at them because, that's what we love doing. We love going running, we love going cycling, we love bake-offs, whatever it is. So,
and you love raising money to end modern slavery, right?
We love it. Yeah. So it's genuinely a kind of, it's our passion is doing those events and those things. And, we believe in bringing people with us on that. So yeah, it's definitely integral to what we do. And, it's an extension of what we love doing and how we love spending our lives. So I think
it's amazing. I think it's a really great case study for, 98% of brands out there when they're thinking about community, to think about how they might emulate that. And that's one step removed from where you guys are, because you guys haven't emulated anything. It happened this way because that was what was at the beginning. But wouldn't it be nice if even the brands who haven't necessarily started off with community at the very beginning, if they even thought, okay, how can we do something really great and make community a community that is actually working for the greater good, part of our ecosystem and not just part of our marketing plan? I think that's a real challenge that I'd put out there for brands that are scaling.
100%. I think it also is people have got to want to be part of it. It always amazes me the amount of times I'm running and I see someone in a Tribe t-shirt or a Tribe cap. For some reason, people want to wear the logo. You don't see that with any other brand.
No, you don't.
And I guess it takes so much work in a way to have built that. And it takes so much kind of love. I mean, it's the first events we were doing back in like 2015, 2016. You've got to really create something in a sense that the individuals want to be part of. And it grows slowly, but it grows almost.
What do you call that function in your business? I mean, who manages that? All of the kind of event community stuff. Is it different? Is it everybody? Is it different people?
Well, there is. I mean, I would genuinely say it's a kind of cross-team effort. We've got this event next year, Run for Love 4 in Croatia, which is a 260-kilometer ultra run over a week that literally the whole team is coming on. So I would say of all of the areas of the whole business that we don't really, it's not kind of content marketing or I don't know what it would be. It's genuinely something that we all participate on and we all carry the load.
You're not just doing it because you want some posts for Instagram, some videos, and it's going to be your content marketing. That's exactly the point I think I'm making. It's amazing. Yeah. Why Croatia out of interest?
It's a stunning route, basically. We've just been there yesterday. We were out there checking out the route, and it's going up the Croatian coast and then finishing on an island called Kirk. And it's a 260-kilometer run, but also there's an 8-mile run and hike for people if you want to do just that at the end. But it's mainly just a stunning route. It's super accessible for people to get there, which is great. It'll be happening in May, so it's good weather. And there's obviously a bit of heritage because the first Run for Love finished in Dubrovnik in Croatia. So
okay.
It's nice to be back. But yeah.
Talk to us about Foodies Fighting Slavery, which is something that you are going to be launching shortly.
Well, yeah, this is a really exciting project that the foundation is working on in partnership with the UK Anti-Slavery Commissioner and 2 anti-slavery charities called Stronger Together and Stop the Traffic. And I think what it's all about saying, how can particularly SMEs that don't have massive operations and supply chain functions, how can they do as much as they possibly can to prevent slavery in their own supply chains? How can they due diligence their suppliers? And it's definitely hold our own hands up, something that we want to be as good as we can possibly be. And we're obviously super involved in fundraising in this space, but we want to learn ourselves what is absolute best practice and how can all SMEs really share best practice in terms of their own supply chains. And
particularly, I suppose, if you have got a whole load of suppliers in your supply chain. Nowadays, lots of the scaling businesses are really sales and marketing commercial offices, and they've got, co-manufacturers in different countries, and they've got supply packaging from China or from wherever it is. And it must be very difficult or daunting if you're the founder of such a company to think, how do I start picking all that apart to make sure that there is no problem, ethical problems in my own supply chain?
I think that's totally right. And it's all about saying, as we've seen in areas where there has been really good practice in FMCG, whether it's Tony's or Hotel Chocolat or other green and blacks, where actually people have kind of really blazed a trail.
Yeah.
There's such an opportunity for SMEs to blaze that trail and to drive best practice. And yeah, the project is basically all about saying, let's work out what best practice is and how can we share it? Because in a sense, we've all, coming back to the impact point, consumer food and drink brands have a massive platform for driving change. And I think particularly in this area of ethical trading supply chain, I think there's so much improvement that can be made. And, we want to explore that ourselves, and then we want to share the learnings with others.
That's wonderful. That really is wonderful. Maybe we can catch up with you in a year or so and you can let us know how you're doing with that, because I'm sure so many brands listening to this will want to, learn from the organization and your learnings.
Definitely, yeah, we'd love that.
So look, let's wrap up by talking about where growth is going to come from over the next year, because your aim is to double your retail sales value to 12 million. Where's that growth going to come from? Both from a channel perspective, but also in terms of how you're going to drive people to buy your products, the push and the pull.
I think, I suppose 2 things to say first. Firstly would be in terms of product. So Active Oats launched about 4 months ago. So we've got really huge sort of growth journey to go on there. We're seeing fantastic initial sales. We're seeing amazing feedback to the product, but there's a lot of fresh powder, as it were, to go after there. And we're really excited to bring that product to more customers. I think the second thing is growth within existing channels. So our e-commerce business doubled in size, on track to double in size this year. And we think we can do the same again next year. And so alongside channels like Amazon, Ocado, and within Sainsbury's. And then it's winning new listings. So you see winning new distribution for any FMCG brand is a huge part of their plan. And that's the same for us, but we're really confident with the brand and the place it's in, the product range in the shape it's in, we're on track to deliver that growth.
That's just fabulous. And you did some crowdfunding, didn't you? You've done 2 rounds of crowdfunding?
That's right. So we've done, our last crowdfund was in May 2019. And it's a really important part of the brand that essentially our customers own part of the business, and they're huge brand advocates. And it really ties well with, Tribe and our ethos. And we're really grateful for their support. And
some of the money that you raised, of course, will be helping you to drive the growth that you have just described. Well, look, guys, I'm absolutely delighted to meet you and to learn more about what's behind Tribe. It's really inspiring. I think there's a real challenge out there for brands, like I said, to think about how their purpose and the community that they're building is not just part of their marketing plan, but actually it's central to the ecosystem that they're building. And thank you so much for coming today and talking to us. And we will check in with you again in a year and see where you've got to, because we would love to learn more about this. What is it called? Foodies for?
Foodies Fighting Slavery.
Foodies Fighting Slavery. Just fabulous. Rob and Tom, thank you so much and have a lovely rest of day.
Thank you so much.
Thanks so much.